You can still see the time here. It's now like 4 hours later. And so that we can see actually what a blogger suggests happened 4 hours later. You know, these are the numbers that were recorded at 17:35, and now let's click it here. The refresh button, that's a Firefox. I do this so that you're not going to think that something is wrong with my browser. Nothing is wrong with my browser. Because earlier, I was luckily for me using Opera browser. I did this stuff through the Opera browser. I did it through the Opera browser, I did it.
So let me demonstrate you what's going on. This is what you're about to see in this video. That probably was 17:25 hours. It still indicates me 320 views for entire day long. 17:25 hours. That's basically 5 p.m. and 25 minutes after 5 p.m. It still indicated me 318 views. Here's the graph. You can see it. And it was like this all day fucking long. At, let's say, 4 a.m. it says 165 views. Really? That's strange to me. That stuff is just strange to me. Let's see. It's like 4:30, right? 5 p.m. 203 views. That's what it says right there. Look at it.
We had from 2 o'clock,
169.
apparently, even if that was
169, it says right there. Later on, I go eat. I come back. The time is now 17:51. 17:50 actually. I go on and I check this stuff again, but as soon as I come back, the numbers change from 318 to 2,721. After I already video recorded video counter view manipulation.
Oh, how you did this stuff? How do you...
You see this shit? That he added 2,400 or 2,400 views more within 15 minutes, upon obviously realizing that I video recorded the whole incident. And so I go on and I check this stuff again. Let's see this stuff here.
You just added more views to the number.
No, but it says right there 168 views, the same thing. He did not. It's still 169 views, 2 a.m. So basically what they do is they just do whatever the fuck they want. I was thinking about that they changed from what it used to be 6 p.m. like did they move the time wise toward like midnight and then extended the day, but they did not. That's what's amazing to me. The same graph, basically the same numbers, just as you have previously seen. The same stuff, completely same stuff. Look at that.
The graph looks still the same as it was. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get this.
So you changed the numbers. You fixed the numbers. The number fix. You changed the numbers. Oh.
No, 165 views at 4 a.m.
You just added more views.
165 at 4 p.m., 191 at 3 a.m. No, it's just blocked. They block the video view counter, and they do this obviously because they know for the hours that you are productive, and they try to screw you up mentally. This is obviously the message that was sent to me. Don't work because it's not going to make any difference. And so now I investigated this thing, video recorded it, and it became evident that they're up to no good. They do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do.
It says 2 p.m. and then it says 4 p.m. and it says here 6
It displayed the same thing.
p.m., 12 a.m., and then it's like 2 a.m. At 2 a.m. this blog
There you go. 169, just
already
you have
had
seen.
about, I think it had like a 300 views it displayed me.
Yeah, half of this video you can see me with a
And this is
318
basically
views
the
for entire
progress that I
day.
made throughout the day.
That's
This.
amazing. 4 a.m. 165, that's correct. 203 views at 5 a.m. It was not 203 views. That I remember it was about 193, something like that. I video recorded it. So this was recorded at 17:25.
And these are the blog statistics for the last 24 hours right here, which I do not.
That's 17:25. Pardon me. I made a mistake.
I don't get it. So you change the numbers, you fix the numbers, the number fix. You change the number.
No, 205 views also. I don't know how they do it. They write whatever they want to write, folks. This is the video count view number changed within 15 minutes.
Oh, how?
The time is 17:50 here. It displayed 2,721, and just 15 minutes earlier it claimed through the half of this video, already beginning 17:05. Look at the time, everything.
I have to video
318, which appeared to me was exactly the number at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning was the number 318. And that's what raised my suspicion. I realized at 1700 hours that the number is still the same, 318, which didn't make sense, especially because I placed state-of-the-art video yesterday that people on the Facebook, for instance, just grabbed out. That does not make sense. So here is the investigation of this procedure and proof about numbers manipulation. I don't believe these numbers. I don't believe because of the Sergei Mikhailovich Brin, his personal involvement, brainwash, because of the police personal involvement, brainwash, because of the stuff that was done to me in respect to the blogger manipulation numbers, whether to make me paranoid, to make me look paranoid, or actually, which I believe actually that they did manipulate the numbers. I don't think these are the real numbers, folks. This, I think it's far worse than videos, which are super, and provenly so, super censored. Welcome to this video. This is actually a really good video. You can see how upon recording for no less than 30 minutes, I started to record at 17:05 and I ended recorded at 17:35. I gave myself a pause, a break for 15 minutes. I went to eat. Upon my return, you will be able to see how the video, how the blog view counter changed to 2,700 views within 15 minutes. Obviously because somebody realized, obviously somebody listened and acted too late to correct this problem. Because I did manage to really record the whole scam. Welcome to this video. That's a good video right there. That's not normal to do to people.
But I have to video record this stuff because today in the morning I early in the morning hours, I did a really good video on surveillance and Serbian Slovenian demands to see me dead from the people that were visiting home. And I was extremely pleased with the video because the video is state of the art. People on Facebook seems they grab it too. As I shared one, they shared with one another big time. And what a video, really. Piece of history, and foremost who these people are here. And once I completed this video, I said to myself, wow. I said to myself, already 35,000 views this month? That's fucking crazy, because the blog was gone for a few months. It was May 6th when they took the blog down, and not May, it was March 6th when they took the blog down. It was a March 6th when they took the blog down, and then they pop up the blog back. Wow, that was June 10, 2026. So, as you can see, the blog was, what was it, 4 months was gone? Wow. And as soon as the blog came back, it took off. And within 10 days, 35,000 views. And that's exactly what I said. I said, wow, this is great. And in the morning hours when I said this today, in the morning hours when I completed the video, maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning, it already had 300 views. And it seems to me that for the rest of the day, it remained with the 300 views. This is powered by a Jew, Sergei Mikhailovich Brin from Moscow is the one whom British oils hired for this hit. This is an individual who personally negotiated crime against me with the Slovenian police. They had honor to meet him in our house. You have to truly, this type of diplomacy, I mean, what is not to admire about this stuff? I mean, this is truly, truly admirable. The partnership, basically, that was, just as I described on that blog, I mean, based on genocide against me, literally as a proof, as an oath of devotion, dedication to one another, I guess. I don't know how I would otherwise explain this. Truly amazing, exactly as Mihailovich Brin, who had several different scenarios, promised me the case is going to be with another blog, which in meanwhile I also launched so that I could continue my work despite all the difficulties, and you don't know what kind of emotional problems this created for me. Enormous. So the point here is quite a few points. This is the blog that I use to replace the Ulster Times. This is where it's indicating 000, and here we can also see the statistics of it. Here you can see what the Russian Jew did. Here you can see what the Central Intelligence Agency, how they operate this stuff. They lie all the time about absolutely everything. There is nothing that pertains to this blog that is real when it comes to statistics. And it's the same thing with the YouTube, it's the same thing with Daily Motions, it's the same thing with all these channels that I have. I had to be grateful to them that I am allowed actually to even tell you the truth. This is the Western democracy. I never made a cent out of it, and these statistics were actually used for the purposes of psychiatric hospitalization. That's how they do this stuff. This is here of all time. This blog had 2,347 views, exactly the way you see it. Yeah, you're actually watching the reality. This is what United States of America is. Donald Trump was laughing at me during MK Ultra due to heart failure, which he demanded together with Prince Charles, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton. They enforced this through their Eastern European partners. I love the video that I posted. It's just truly magnificent video.
Just need you to see this here.
I love the video that I posted.
Yeah, the video that I posted is right there. At 2 o'clock in the morning I did. About a Serbian-Russian surveillance and demands to see me dead, Yugoslavia, Slovenia. At 2 in the morning last night, basically. If you go back, it is right now 1834, and you go like this, well, or around at 2 o'clock in the morning, 16 hours ago, is when I posted this video right there. And that video is a state of the fucking art. That's a state of the art video. You know, fucking tell me that there was no people that would even want to see that video because I noticed on Facebook. I noticed on a Facebook. I'm not gonna go right now. I don't know where it says, but it said a great job. 100 people already saw that video of yours that you posted on a Facebook. Hours later, I posted on a Facebook this video. And yes, there was interest in this video, and I don't know what happened afterwards, but it was just like few minutes later, it says great job. Oh, it stopped at 100. Well, I don't know how to promote this stuff. I'm not good at doing that stuff, but it took few minutes, not few minutes. It took enough time for people to see it. So, it was posted at 3:28. At 4:13 there was already, at 4:43 there was already 100 people that saw this video. So it says, great job, people saw this video and so on. This video is a good video. That's a good fucking video. That's a state-of-the-art video. So don't tell me there throughout entire day long and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I swear it indicated me, I feel that it indicated me 300 views. I tell you that at 2 o'clock in the morning, certainly, later on I'm going to change the story because of being intimidated by all this stuff. At 2 o'clock I make a statement, it demonstrated me 300 views. Something over 300 views. So I knew when I came later, and it was again 300 views, 320 views, that did not make any fucking sense, to put it plain and simple. I knew that something was not okay over there. That's why I am recording this video, because it's so blatantly obvious that you are manipulating video view counters that is unfucking believable. And yes, this here is also state-of-the-art video. This isn't any kind of joke, this video here. Let me demonstrate you this video that I yet have to record. I am preparing myself on this stuff. This shit is unfortunately extremely emotional, exploitative, difficult to record. Definitely not good for your mental, not cardiovascular, whatever health, cancer, whatever. Not a good stuff. But I yet have to record this one here. There is much more to this stuff. But as I said, that video that I recorded last night, it's a state-of-the-art video. I'm proud about it.
Posted tonight, last night I posted one, and this is a video yet I have to finish. It's not a video yet, but it's something that I have to finish. However, people who did this to me are not capable to lie, omit anything, hide. They will never be lucky enough to have ability to lie to the people about the stuff that went on. They demanded from me to see them as my spies. They demanded from me to see blacks and Jews as my spies, next to everything else that was coming inside of our house. They demanded from me to see Chinese Communist Party as a helpful spies. Talking about the British oils who enforced this stuff. British oils were the one that did this stuff, the whole thing, together with the Central Intelligence Agency, FBI directors, whom they were using to make things look exciting. And they continue to load themselves and do stuff like this, basically leave you in a completely devastated situation to your own devices, basically. Hospitalize me after 38 years of this MKH bestiality they enforced. It's crazy when I mentioned Milan Kuchan, how he was contemplating on giving me a heart surgery. That's just completely fucking crazy, because from one point he did absolutely everything he could to get me killed, That's what he continued to do. On the other one, he started to hallucinate me on the surgery that I'm going to need, that Slovenia wants to give me a surgery, a thank you for, he would not even express himself or what. I mean, this is just totally amazing. A really good video too. A really good video. With Americans checking the room in Ljubljana and stuff like this. See how things get done these days? Through the diplomatic channels, how extremely efficient they are. You don't need no social security anymore because you murder people who survived somehow last years on retirement of their parents, who, however, are so corrupt that despite being on retirement, they wouldn't come out and tell what exactly took place for the sake of the rest of the family and so on and back and forth. You have to congratulate these people on how efficient they are at solving things. This is a problem solving. It's like a modern society, a problem solving society that is extremely wealthy, extremely rich, extremely prosperous. It's a democracy. It's a land of the freedom, the country of the brave and free, right? These are your presidents. We'll never forget Donald Trump, and I see this very often on a Facebook. I see it. I see this very often on a Facebook. It keeps appearing on a Facebook. A group where so like a Facebook groups. It must be this one here. This is the group. Where it suggests that they're waiting for Donald Trump to die. Did he die yet? It's plenty groups like this, you know. And it was exactly Donald Trump during MK Ultra. Yeah, I don't know what I have to do with Russia, but thank you anyways. And it was exactly during MK Ultra. It was exactly during MK Ultra that Donald Trump was making fun of this stuff. Saying to me, you will be dying. You will be dying. He knew about all this stuff. And might have even created these groups, or knew about them and was using them during MK Ultra for torture purposes.
He was using these groups for torture purposes. He definitely was using this group for torture purposes. The so-called opposition groups on a Facebook, where you can go, you can vent yourself, ran literally by either people for whom, or I should say from whom, he learned what they would be displaying in the future on a Facebook, and or completely controlled opposition. He was using this shit during MK Ultra for torture purposes. When I go over right now doing this video, you can see him over there holding a bottle. That's exactly the stuff that went on during MK Ultra, when I was in such a poor state already that during the mornings, when I would wake up to keep me alive, keeping me from getting stroke, they would give me a water bottle to drink from, because of the problems with the kidneys they developed at one point. Not at one point, but at several points. I had kidneys giving up on me. They found food inside of the urine. During MK Ultra, on several occasions they did. And it happened to me afterwards that, I'm not going to say I repeated the same things, the same mistakes, because those are not mistakes. They cause you injuries, and, well, the injuries come back in a different form. I should say not during MK Ultra, but in real time afterwards. He was making literally a fun of holding water in his hands. He wasn't making fun, he used it for the torture purposes. The picture that you see right there, whatever picture he was using during MK Ultra to demonstrate me the Facebook groups that would exist, it's exactly what he was doing. That is correct.
They wouldn't find half of the Congress, they would find the entire Congress. I can assure you of that. So they are very optimistic about the Russia on my Facebook page. They all the time instigate, Russia. Which was the tactics, the British tactics. That was the Prince Charles tactics. He loved to sicken with Russia. He loved to sicken with Serbia. because he believed that I'm not gonna see it his way, this way, that I'm so sick, so health-wise affected already. What a rotten person that is portraying his fingers. He's pushing fingers to the people in people's faces. Talking about the cancer, that he is a survivor of the cancer, and I don't know. He's not a very decent person when you consider what I stated to you here.
Russia. He's saying Russia like he has orgasm talking about Donald Trump. Russia. I think so pathetic that use like Russia. It's like a magic bottle that you open and you have excuse for any bestiality you perform in this world. Russia. They were taking me to the Moscow in a psychiatric hospital known as Sibersky. Not Sibersky, but Serbsky. Psychiatric hospital for torture, for bestiality. It's where Charles even met me. He came to see it and gestured me, "We're gonna see how you like it." What I'm trying to say is they instigated on a hijacking to the Russia. Like, how the fuck would that be a hijacking? After already killing me practically and ruining me my life very often throughout MK Ultra, so-called MK Ultra, I call it so-called MK Ultra procedures, locking me into the psychiatric institutions and prisons inside, including and especially in Russia. Russia. It's China, and Russia. How the fuck do you go and you have somebody like myself hijacked, let's say, to the Russia, for which Prince Charles, now greater of the Great Britain king, the greatest British king, hallucinated on how I'll be in Russia. How the fuck you do this? How do you hijack somebody like myself who actually have American citizenship since 2000? Even this. How do you do it? How do you do that? Maybe you cancel one American citizenship and then you laugh because he's being hijacked to the Russia. That's how you do it? That will be difficult to prove from American point of view, because of what I have explained went all along. And basically what went all along is there was no spies for my sake. There was just a big fucking agreement, cooperation in respect to my case. I'm not saying for other stuff. For other stuff is uncertain. Ukrainians are beaten up to the pulp, and I did explain to you everything about what went on between Ukraine and Great Britain and Germany and USA. All that stuff I did explain to you about. Meetings between Putin and Zelensky and Trump and all that stuff. Prince Charles, King Charles. I did explain to you all about that stuff. But there is no doubt about it that you are in agreement with the Russians, with the KGB, all along. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So that much for that. Russia. If something like this would take place, it wouldn't take because you would cancel the citizenship, which I might cancel myself. It would happen based on the agreement, based on the genocide agreement you had with the Russians and with the Serbs. Practically since my birth. You actually have proven that you are not in it to help me out. You have proven your loyalty to the Kremlin, not to me. You did absolutely everything possible in this world to get me killed. Your main weapon was a psychiatry through which you hoped you would prove something was wrong with me.
Russia, Russia. China, China, China.
And by the way, I find it extremely, extremely pathetic when I consider that you're so pathetic that you destroyed me 54 years of life. 55 years of life you destroyed me, you erased me. You left me with heart failure, kidney problems, all kinds of issues. Who knows when it comes to cancers. And you push forward Russia, Russia, Russia. It seems like a Russia, right, King Charles? Like a Russia is a problem solver for absolutely every one of your dilemmas, or I should say fuck-ups. And they are even fuck-ups because it's your way, it's your British way, it's how the British, that's how you do it. That's how you get it done. Come on, man. That's your tradition. You're good at this. That's part of you, part of your nature, basically. Backstabbing.
So, in the 4 months, I guess that this was it. That's what I got for the last 4 months. 1, 2, 3, 4 months, yeah. For the 4 months, 2,350 views for the 4 months. Sergei Mikhailovich Brin admitted to me that this is going to be like a total lie. That's going to have absolutely nothing to do with reality. Nothing. And I must say to you that when I see statistics, which I demonstrated you here, this statistics, that up to date, there was already over 35,000 visitors that I have in the Ulster Times within 10 days that this blog again exists. I have to say to you that, yeah, I completely agree with it. I totally agree with it. I would say, yes. I would say that Sergei Mikhailovich Brin was lying about the blog statistics all the way. And that's basically how they control the flow of the blog, the interest of the people, the right. But that's what the democracy looks like, look. If you want to see the democracy, what it looks like. You know what the Slovenian police, these animals here, let me demonstrate you this famous Slovenian police station here, which in my opinion, I'm not going to give you the opinion because I already told you about the Slovenes, who they are and how it is. They told me, they were demonstrating me my graph of the visitors during MKUltra, and it was nowhere nearly as developed as it is now. And they were comparing one to the failing heart. So, who is working inside in there? What is this Slovenia about? When you see it on the map and they talk about Hitler, they talk about Adolf Hitler, that he tried to exterminate them, that he was a bad person. Now, I'm not glorifying Hitler, but this country is making Hitler great again. For all the wrong reasons, I'm sure you understand. I was theirs, son of the partisans, son of the communists, when there was people that did not belong to that movement interested in the case. That's how they keep them away. And I was not theirs when they presented me to the blacks, when they took me to the Africa, to the black countries for torture purposes, or Asia, or Israel, or South America, or whatever. That's when I was an evil Nazi and I was disposable for torture. You can do anything you want to do with it. They were exempling me as a neo-Nazi during MKUltra. That's when I was not theirs. So this is what I call a gnus. You know what a gnus is? A gnus is repulsion. A total repulsion.
So there were two instances, two completely different instances, when they solicit a murder of me. And when they wanted to make sure there wouldn't be people. So basically, not like-minded killers, assassins. Assisting me, helping me out. So therefore, the people that were non-communists it's the time when I was theirs, when I belonged to the communists, when I belonged to the police officers, when I belonged to the Yugoslavia, all that. You understand? That's when I was theirs. That's how they keep people away. And if the people would not stay away, they would label them as white guards, etc., etc., etc. Nazis, that kind of stuff. There were two different instances. When they wanted to murder me, when they wanted to kill me, I was theirs. They say, do not stick your nose in it because he is one of us. He's ours. Not one of us, but he's ours. In other words, not his mama, not his papa are going to be on your side if you try. And then again, when it was necessary to kill me by using people in Africa, Asia, throughout the Asia, South America, Russia wanted me dead already. That's nothing to worry about. And we're searching for the trust from the blacks, from the Asians, Jews, South Americans, etc., etc. They presented me as an evil Nazi that is necessary to be killed, claiming he's not ours, he's not one of us, he is a German. That's important for me to accent. It's very, very important detail. That's how they operated. That's how Slovenes operated, and that's how they operate. Together with the Polacks, with the Czechs, with the Slovaks. I don't have to mention Serbs and Russians because it makes no sense. What you see over there, and if I go back to this graph here, as I was demonstrating you this kind of stuff here. You know, this is just temporary blog that I created to replace the Ulster Times for duration of being missed from the internet. Yes, of course I posted it on Facebook and groups. People definitely knew where I was. There was no secret about it. Police was talking about comparing those, a graph basically of the visitors to a failed heart procedure. You know, the graph that is used, a diagram that is used to demonstrate your heartbeat. By using Russian Jew Sergei Mikhailovich Brin on how and when he will go. This isn't the first time my blog went missing for 4 months. They did already before this stuff. This isn't the first time. They did this stuff already before. They did it before already, this stuff. This isn't the first time that this have happened. And so what they were doing during MKUltra, they were demonstrating me literally, this is no censorship. This is something else. This is killing. This is a systematic murder. Every one of these attacks makes a big difference in my life. And it extends this bestiality rather than to receive medical emergency care. They were indulging themselves through gesturing me on how it would be like a heart failure. So they wanted me to enlive myself, well, actually through reality, watching the graph from the blog, compared that to personal experience I was going through already during MKUltra. And what I eventually it later repeated. So that you must understand that when you're on a level of decimated health like mine right now, just how far they have gone with the poisoning with the stuff during MKUltra to accomplish exactly the same results I suffer from now in real time. You understand? Do you understand the degree of the violence these people have committed to? I told you how they have me at UKC inside of the hospital, and they were reviving me and stuff, doing all kinds of stuff to get me back for the heart to continue to work properly and so on. Bestiality is, I don't know how you see bestiality is. It's an ugly word. But I don't know. The stuff that these people are performing on me is absolutely inhumane. It was and is thanks to Janez Janša, Lojze Peterle, Dmitry Rupel, Jelko Kacin, the so-called Slovenian pro-independence movement, Igor Bavčar, etc., who was inside of our house talking to me about how he's going to commit himself to the corruption inside of the Milan Kučan's house so that he could pose later on as a persecuted guy. Janez Janša claiming how he was fucked because of me and so on. Both of them, with the Bavčar, Janša, Peterle, they were involved since my earliest childhood in this case. Not since my earliest, but since my early childhood. First, second, third grade of grammar school we are talking about here. Yugoslavia. 1978, 1979, 1980, Josip Broz Tito was still alive. A police station, this is not a police station. This is no police station. This here is no police station. This is not a police station. Police station, this is not. This is a murderous Slovenian, this is a Slovenian murderous pit hole. The people who served and serve as police officers, and it's thanks to these people they were not prosecuted in 1991. I wanted them prosecuted. I wanted them trialed. It's all thanks to Janša, Peterle, Kacin, all these pro-Slovenian people, the so-called pro-Slovenian people, that this did not happen to. The people who serve inside of the police station are the people who committed themselves to this thing here. These are the grandkids who did this. Stuff like this, atrocities like this. These are grandkids of the partisans, these are grandkids of the communists, and they continue to enforce this type of stuff, even under the circumstances I demonstrated. Which I believe personally, guys, it is against the current, because you are inside of the European Union, I am American citizen, and the fact that I stated doesn't even help George W. Bush, or Barack Obama, or Bill Clinton, or your Donald Trump, your Melania that is inside of the White House. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. Under the circumstances that you continue to do this, which you continue to demonstrate the world, stuff that you do, through my blog, literally, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. I continue to go on. I continue to expose. I am still alive. 54 years you have been exposed doing this stuff. Hijacking me to the Russia or wherever. What difference would it make? What difference would it make for you? Not a big difference. No, I don't think you're going to get away with it. I don't think you're going to get away with it. Listen, you don't even have to be a communist. When you do the stuff like this, you demonstrate why the killer of John F. Kennedy escaped to Russia, escaped to the Soviet Union. You actually portray Harvey Lee Oswald as somebody who was a victim of crazy system. And the guy was really in the military, but in the US military he was. I think in the Marines or whatever. I don't embrace him. But you're definitely fucking insane. You're definitely fucking insane. You're definitely fucking insane. You're proving that you are more of a mental illness than I am. You, George W. Bush, you, Bill Clinton, together with Barack Obama, with Donald Trump, with Joe Biden, you're proving to society that you are much closer to the mental illness, that you're much closer to the mental illness, you're a much bigger problem to the society, to the reputation of the United States of America than I was, ever. I was useful to America. You are a fucking disgrace. Together with these guys who committed this stuff and whom you went on to use with hope that they will somehow save you, relieve you from total embarrassment. Prince Charles, King Charles, Prince Andrew, Prince Harry, Prince William, etc., etc., royals. What the fuck is royal about this? Talk to us more about the mental health. You're experts. Tell us about the mental health. You're experts on mental health. Or were you using the issue to intimidate the British people when you claimed that you were mental health experts, etc., etc.? That means that is a psychiatric constitutional monarchy. Psychiatrically constitutional, yeah. It would have been interesting to see about the blog statistics for the last 24 hours. And these are the blog statistics for the last 24 hours right here, which I do not understand at all. I don't understand this at all. It says 2 p.m. and then it says 4 p.m. and it says here 6 p.m. 12 a.m. and then it's like 2 a.m. At 2 a.m. this blog already had about, I think it had like a 300 views it displayed me. And this is basically the progress that it made throughout the day, like this. We had from 2 o'clock, apparently, even if that would be the case, right, which it doesn't make any sense. What sense does it make? With the video that I posted on the internet, the groundbreaking video yesterday, it was actually tonight, this morning I posted one, which you can see the hours, you can see the time on it. You can see it because of the recording itself.
But I have to video record this stuff because today in the morning things you did not know about the Slovenia, but are Slovenia, a real Slovenia.
Let's just see. This is like not really clear to me about this.
For instance, one important London. What the difference is, I gave you the whole truth. All licensed by the.
This was completed at 01:33 this morning, at basically at 2 o'clock in the morning. This video was completed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I think it's good. I think this is good stuff. At 2 o'clock in the morning. At 2 o'clock in the morning it was completed. And so I think it's outstanding. I think it's outstanding that you can do stuff like this to the people, that you can do the stuff like this to the people. I think it's outstanding. Outstanding. What do you think as an American about United States of America? Your thought about it's a land of the freedom, land of the brave and free. They brought the Russian literally. They brought literally a Russian from the Russia, a Russian Jew. So they wouldn't look this bad in London, in Washington, D.C., in the White House. Or maybe they wanted to demonstrate. Did you want to demonstrate? What did you want to demonstrate? How you basically shit on a democracy? Did you maybe wanted to demonstrate the world who and what you are? If you did so through this blog, you did fantastic. You did very good. You did very good. You did fantastic. You did very, very, very good. This is what the Americans sent to Slovenia as a new American ambassador. Let me demonstrate you. She's from Russia. Oh, and they keep demonstrating this here, which, excuse me, but you are a piece of shit, Mrs. Asshole. Asshole. You are a piece of shit. You understand that? The stuff I had going on also was going during your stay in Slovenia. This here, actually no, I am mistaken. They're showing this white lady right there. No, this is Asshole K. Roberts is not this. This is a previous one. Now this is the new one. This is what just came in June 5th. I already wrote about this stuff, but this is what United States of America is. They're probably doing their best for British royals, so they cannot be seen through this, even that they were the #1 who did this, the whole thing. This is now the American ambassador to Slovenia this year. Thanks to the guy you see in the picture, this thing was and continues to happen. I got 4 hours of sleep today, yesterday not even that, and so it goes. So it goes. If you remember the Facebook groups that I demonstrated you, so it goes. That's how it goes. Nobody judged the murderous scum once this Slovenia became independent. I was left to deal with this stuff like this. This is British. This is a British Royals. That's greater than Great Britain, Britannia, the United Kingdom. So that you're not going to think that by any chance that I'm going to demonstrate you these numbers. This is important so you don't get the idea that it's like anything normal about today, the stuff that you see as far as the numbers. Nothing really is normal. Nothing really is normal. Sergei Mikhailovich Brin told me that he would do stuff like this simply because I won't be able to prove him. He gestured that he corrects the graph even at the end of the month. I really do not understand what that means. The 620 2,700 views. I don't understand what the fuck that means. What the hell is the 2,700 views? That would be like normal. You know, if everything would be normal, then this would be a graph, right? But that's not what it's indicating. It's indicating, like I said, almost the same number, if not the same number as it did at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I know it's not true. Like I said, and I know it's not the truth. Where in this world, if you are a member of this world, where do you get your news from? Where do you learn about the truth that goes on? Where do you get it from?
So I decided I will record this stuff. If this is not blatantly wrong, then I don't know what it is. Oh, it is blatantly wrong. I was gonna do it again. I was gonna record a new video, but you know what? That video is actually so fucking good that the only thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna go and I'm gonna glue what you see here to the video which I already recorded. Yeah, it's going to the internet. It's good. This proves the point. About when it comes to the views, about what goes on. It seems like as if somebody over there with a video counter view just got kicked in the balls or something like that, and he was like, "Oh shit, let me release the video view counter," and he clicked the button and he added 2,400 views more within. Let me not make a mistake about this stuff. We do have time displayed here next to the history. I took a little time to myself. I ate, and 15 minutes, within the 15 minutes you did this, you added 2,400 views within 15 minutes. So the stuff that Sergei Mikhailovich Brin told me they will be doing, it's real. It's just not happening only at the end of the month that you do this shit. You just do it like this, right? You do it when it grabs you, you do it. I tell you what, let's go and let's see how you did this, because I am actually impressed. I want to know how you did this stuff. How did you do this? Well, the graph looks still the same as it was. I don't understand. I don't get it. So you changed the numbers. You fixed the numbers. The number fix. You changed the numbers. Oh, you just added more views to the numbers. Well, in that case, you are definitely out of luck. And folks, here you can see how the video counter view is actually manipulated.
Yeah, no. The answer to this is no. They did not change the video view counter upon the very careful examination. Just as I suggested right at the beginning of this video, it became evident they just added 2,400 views more. That's all it is. No video view counter manipulation as far as hourly manipulation, as far as number of views being added to hourly graph. It did not take place. They just simply, I don't know, they just added 2,400 number more to 318, as I demonstrated at the beginning of this video. That's all there is to it. That's how they do that stuff. So I have to be careful to warn you. No, they did not. They just added. They stopped. It's like you would have a counter, like for the water or whatever, and the only thing you would do is you would disconnect one. But they did not disconnect one. They somehow the view counter, they somehow let count the number of visitors, views, and then what they did is they click one, they plugged one back so that it added all the numbers of the visitors to my blog. And I don't agree with these numbers. I don't agree with it because the video which I posted at 2 o'clock in the morning to the internet is a state-of-the-art video. Yet it's more stuff that needs to be done. You were able to see the letter to the Schwarzenegger. But yeah, that stuff just didn't make any sense today when I went on to see what's going on with my stuff a little bit, the statistics and stuff like this, and it just didn't make absolutely any sense. The number 320 was the one from 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, the same fucking number. 2 o'clock in the morning was already 320 views because when I came on the internet at 2 o'clock in the morning, I said, maybe even at 1 o'clock, not 3 o'clock, maybe even at 1 o'clock was already 320 views, because I was impressed because there was so many views all the time that the interest for the Außer Times exploded. Yeah, probably at 1 o'clock in the morning, I already had 320 views. If it was not at 1, it was definitely at 2 o'clock. I was surprised there was such an interest. And then I just disregarded and I was doing my work. And yeah, at 2 o'clock. It must have been at 2 o'clock because I finished the video at 2 o'clock. And then I returned back at next day at 5 o'clock, 1700 hours, just to realize the number is still the same. And it was evident to me that I was talking loudly inside of the home. I was talking loudly to myself. Wow, I said. Already 320 views, I said, and these guys want to make me disappear. They wanted to destroy my publicity. But they did not destroy one. Within the 10 days, 35,000 views is a lot. And I had extremely positive outlook. I mean, 2 hours, already 320 views. You're talking about the midnight when the people sleep, So I said to myself, well, in that case, they're doing something again, the same dirty stuff they were doing to me in the past already. They were playing with this blogger view counters, just as they said they would do. They play with this stuff, and they were adding them at the end of the month also. It was also that kind of stuff that Sergei Mikhailovich Brin used to do. It was also that kind of stuff. The whole month, nothing, and then during the last few days of the month, they would add, I don't know how many, 10,000 plus views and stuff like this, 10,000s of views even. We also had that kind of stuff. They were discussing this stuff with the police officers in front of me. Maybe they made me a little bit paranoid with this kind of stuff, but this here, there is no paranoia. Here you can see it actually black and white, video recorded, proofs, everything black and white proofs right there. Beautifully video recorded stuff. Nobody can really deny. It's perfect. It's just the way it's supposed to be. So I have proven that they are playing with blogger view counters, that they were playing with this shit all along, and it was driving me crazy. Not so much because it would have effect on my work, as Sergei Mikhailovich was laughing in my face with the police, but it was driving me crazy because I didn't know how am I going to get the proof about this. How am I going to prove they're doing this stuff to me? And there you go. That was my lucky day. I like that.
I was going to call this video about Außer Times blog statistics, but you know what? Here is how they manipulate. Yeah, here is how they manipulate blog statistics. How did I get here to this video? How this happened? What happened with this stuff?
Ho, ho, ho. It's that time of the year. And we did get to that place exactly based on a police scenario from the local police station with which they intimidated me with. That's how we got there. I will tell you exactly how we got there. That's precisely how we got to that place. And also the last few investigation procedures that I conducted at Novomesto police station, because that's what this is. Every time I go to the police station, the outcome is the same. They don't take it seriously. They continue to delay. They continue to cause more and more and more harm, more and more devastation, knowing even they are audio recorded, which they spent enormous amount of time during MK Ultra to intimidate me with. Enormous. And it was not only during MK Ultra, but also with the police involvement recent, with all kinds of different situations. Actually trying to intimidate me to even enter the police station the other day. Then we had an incident here inside of the village. You know, that stuff was all just like this thing here. Everything was designed to intimidate in respect to audio recordings. And there you go. I was changing the title of that video, and it kicked me into the area where it clearly states that police officers have been audio recorded when I was at a police station 3 weeks ago. So this isn't good for me. You are clearly indicating stuff I already have spoke about on, also as I give you the speech before you can hear this audio recordings in Slovenia, which I did not post this stuff on the internet yet. That's what they wanted. They wanted to take me to the court, and they wanted to destroy entire criminal evidence against them through a claim to the judge that I am engaging in already illegal activities, recording them and all kinds of stuff like this, that basically prevents them the investigations, basically interfering with their investigation and tra-la-la-la-la. It's not the investigation they do. They engage in extremely illegal criminal stuff that gives me as a private citizen the right to protect my life through using audio recordings, through audio recording you. Yes, even if you are a police officer, wherever you are, whoever you are, official, if you're engaging in life-threatening circumstances, every citizen, everyone has the right to audio or video record you. This is just the law. This is the way the law states. If you deem your life is under threat, in danger, you are allowed to protect yourself with audio recording, video recording, whatever it might be. Nobody can stop that away from you, even if you do this inside of the police station or whatever it is that you do. That's the law. That's the way it is. If you have a reasonable cause for that, you can justify that. There you go. I got plenty of it. So this here, just another attempt to intimidate. Something that, and his name is and Reposh and Kukets and etc., a bunch of them that they just recently that I met these people that were so much involved in this and who did their best to intimidate. They were trying to make impression at the police station to, you know, what, you think I'm going to go and I'm going to waste a video like this one, for instance, keep it to myself? No. Judge will be definitely pleased to see this. It's not okay, this stuff. This is also not okay. You cannot do that. That's illegal. That's attempt to intimidate. This stuff was involved directly in MK Ultra. I don't think that this is a computer error. I don't think that this is what the computers would do. I don't believe this. I do believe that because they did investigate it. Every computer they sold me, they investigated the errors, the stuff they can do to use to portray me as a paranoid. And then what they would do is they incited in a paranoia. They were doing this shit all along, there's no doubt about it. But what I'm trying to say is, this here, this is not a Windows error and this is not a computer error. This is just something I believe, and I'm not going to go play with this stuff. It just come under such a strange circumstances that I'm going to use this, and I'm going to make a bold claim that this was done remotely through the internet too. You were able to see me. I was just minding my own business like this, changing the title to the video, and all of a sudden it skipped, it jumped into something completely different. Check this out.
About Ulster Times blog statistics, but you know what? Here is how they manipulate.
I was going to say,
here's
here's
how
how
they
they manipulate.
statistics.
Here's how they
How did I get
manipulate.
here to this video?
So you do this stuff like
How
this?
this happened?
Okay, so then you choose. Then you basically choose the video. You choose the video with which you try to manipulate. This was the video here. There is plenty other videos that if something would be, it would jump on that one. But it jumped exactly. Look at that. All the way down here. All the way down here. All the way down. Yes, more. And it says right here, look, in English. You see this stuff here? So you're not doing this. This isn't coincidence. You target and you try to intimidate. You try to intimidate me. Huh. Okay. You try to intimidate. That means you are also taking the videos from my computer and audio and everything. That kind of stuff that you also hallucinated. You will do during MK Ultra. But you know what? I'll be honest. I would say to you, I don't care if you do it. You have stolen the passwords. You have stolen absolutely everything. So why not? Why not to do it? Wait when I demonstrate that you have stolen the passwords from me and you are using the passwords that I created to create the Gmail accounts. That's a really bad one. That's a really bad one. This is the type of bullying that went on during MK Ultra all the way, and to them it was entertaining. So it's a complete madness, isn't it? The guy's fucking dying and you're not investigating the stuff, but you're engaging in this kind of stuff. Ooh, those are gonna be long sentences. You did the favor to your buddies in 1990, 1991, and you continue to assume their genocide, responsibility for the genocide against me, their genocide. You took it upon your shoulders because they hired a bunch of these assholes in year 1991 upon the Slovenian independence. But you did yourself a shit favor. Oh yeah, you're gonna see the stuff that comes out of this. What I do is called a law enforcement. It's called law enforcement. I enforce the law. I enforce the law. I enforce the law. When police is not acting accordingly to the law, I'm not going to say you have to take law in your hands, but you have to enforce the law. That's all you got to do. You continue to enforce the law. And that's exactly what I do. I don't see these people as the police officers. These are not police officers. You would see police officers like this. You would see your own murderers, your own killers. It's like those people they slaughtered over there in Hudayama, you would bring them back to life, and let's say they had a chance for a second life, and they would greet the scum like this on the streets, even as a police officer. To greet somebody as a police officer means to give one the deepest respect, in case you didn't know that. That's a respect. That's basically the deepest trust. You don't have the trust in the police. This is completely fucked up whole thing then. When you address somebody as a police officer, that's exactly what it is. If he is a scumbag, that much worse for the person who is greeting him as a police officer or a police officer himself. This is how things are. And this is not a police. This is not what the police is supposed to do. Police not supposed to force victims of NK Ultra, which is the most disgusting thing that can happen to an individual in the world. Much worse than a rape. To comply with it through really atrocious things. That's not how it works. That's not a police job. That's something else. These guys, they completely missed on a lot of things. I'm not going to go about meanings of life, but this aren't, for me, in my eyes, this is shit. They're not even people. So that stuff is also recorded, that you try to manipulate, try to intimidate. Oh, they did. They intimidated. They had a man. They spent a lot of time intimidated. The week when my father was murdered on May 4, 2026, entire group of police officers that greeted me were specialized in MK Ultra into intimidation pertaining to the audio recordings of the police station, and even gestured me that this is how they investigate. That's what they investigate. So this is a bunch of, I don't even know how I would say that excuse for the people, whatever that is, that's what they do for a living. This is what they get paid for. The Slovenian way, I guess.
How the hell did skip the whole thing and landed over here? That's really interesting. Let's do it again. Unfortunately, when it comes to the YouTube and all those video view counters, they have actually manipulated them for the psychiatric hospitalization purposes, I should say. That's what they're doing. That's what they're... It's not about the money they don't only pay. They use the statistics to completely discredit you for the purpose of the psychiatric hospitalization. They use it. So that you can watch this here. That's why they do all this stuff. And it's how they do it. A bit uncomfortable. They like Epstein files because this here is not seen. That's what they also release them for. This Osbournes, they were involved since my childhood. Earliest childhood. There never was so much money, was it? The money that is now, it's like, it appears so that it never was. But behind it all, behind all this, it doesn't look so pretty. He was heavily involved in it. He was heavily involved in it. He was heavily involved in the torture. He was heavily involved in it. Everything is perfect, you see? Look. Everything is fantastic.
I was meeting Natalia Tersheli-Chantel, Miriam Repoche, Andrei Skarbinek. This was like right after my father passed away, not passed away, right after my father was killed. Kukets is somebody else. Kukets and Kadic, I meet both of them on the day when my father was murdered because I demanded examination of my father is dead. But other than that, it just didn't stop. That same week I was meeting Jaka Retzel is his name, and Jaka Retzel was one of the most, when it comes to audio recordings, the type of, in a parenthesis, investigation procedure people who was obsessed with this idea. What you see right there is a browser that Firefox browser that I did not go and refresh, and so it stayed right there. Yeah, altogether 2.7 plus million views, but I don't agree with these numbers. I don't think these are the real numbers anyways. I don't think a lot of people would under my circumstances. But if you go to the Jaka Retzel, investigator Jaka Retzel was sure that he's going to be able to prove to the world that you investigate, that you do police job, and just by sitting and waiting for the proofs to come to you, as you are investigated as a police officer. Just as long as you have a badge, that's how he viewed the justice as, you investigate and not other people. Well, sometimes that's not how it is it? He was certain that he would intimidate me. Another one who met me was Gosenica Krils, who was also involved in a severe intimidation procedure. This was all the people that were involved on a week of the murder of my father. Natalia Tersheli-Chantel, Miriam Repoche, Andrei Skarbinek, Jaka Retzel, Gosenica Krils. These are all the police officers who invested enormous amount of efforts, but they had others involved in it. Even what they were doing during MK Ultra, when they would bring me to the police station, they would do the pet search with the machines, like portable stuff. They brought them from the court, where they would bring me all the time to the Novo Mesto City Court. They went and they got those machines literally from security officers at the court of the Novo Mesto court. They brought them to the police station during MK Ultra and they started to intimidate me with them. I think that these are all very important issues to raise in this video, because it's all part of this stuff. And I don't think it's looking out good for these guys, the stuff they did it. I think I did a pretty good job with this video also, so that people can actually see really what is going on with all this stuff. Well, there is this last thing that I have to do so that I would not leave you in doubts, and that requires for me to go to this browser here, which I did not refresh, right? And what we're going to do is we are going to refresh. You can still see the time here. It's now, well, like 4 hours later. And so that we can see actually what a blogger suggests happened 4 hours later. You know, these are the numbers that were recorded at 17:35, and now let's click it here. The refresh button, that's a Firefox. I do this so that you're not going to think that something is wrong with my browser. Nothing is wrong with my browser, because earlier I was luckily for me using Opera browser. I did this stuff through the Opera browser. I did it through the Opera browser. I was lucky enough to use the Opera browser to seal this deal. Through the Opera browser I did it. That's why I was managed to prove this and actually keep the evidence in place until just right now. You can zoom this a little bit like this, and you can see it like this, nicely like this, everything, like that. And what can I say? We can also do this. We can go 24 hours like this, and this is 24 hours. And so now you see earlier it displayed for the 6 p.m. They also changed the time, and they moved to the midnight, closer to the midnight, not really to the midnight, but probably what was 2200 hours, right? Yeah, 2200 hours, and 3 hours forward basically. Instead of 6 p.m. it's now 9 p.m. So, you know, so this is stuff that we can all, it can be done like this too. It can be done. It can be proven that it's not supposed to be this way anyways. When you click here, statistics, it should display you this number, not this number, let's say, which was 318. That's a big difference. So, two things at once.